Welcome back. I appreciate you joining me again. Like I stated on my last video, I'm going to dive into an individual oil today. And today that oil is going to be lavender. So I'm going to use my handy dandy Modern Essentials book. That's this book. To help me to share with you. There is so much to know about lavender. I won't even be able to cover it all, but I'm going to just kind of try to create a framework from which to begin this series. And I'm going to do kind of my favorite top 10 and or other people's kind of most commonly used oils. And lavender is definitely at the top. Um, it's not the first oil I used, which I'll go into that on the day I share about that. But I think lavender is worthy of the calling. So first of all, lavender is steam distilled from the flower of the lavender, and the body systems that are affected is the cardiovascular system, the nervous system, the skin, and also emotional balance. So that's a very big one. And I'll just start with emotional to say that as far as the aromatic influence, because you can actually use a lavender in 3 different ways. You can use it topically. That means put it on your skin, and you can use it aromatically. So you can diffuse it from a diffuser. You can put it right in a drop in your hand and smell it. You can also digest lavender. It is safe. And the way that you can tell if something is safe is by looking on the bottle. There's a supplement fact. See that supplemental fact? That right there tells you that this, according to the FDA, is GRAS. It's generally recognized as safe to ingest into your body. So that's how you know. Always look at the bottle. If it doesn't have that, you can ingest it. So now, the aromatic influence is it promotes consciousness, health, love, peace, and a general sense of well-being, and it also nurtures creativity. Now, what I remember about using lavender the first time, my granddaughter was about 3 or 4, and she had been taking naps, and she did not want to take a nap. And I was like, oh no, we're at that stage. And I remember my daughter had given me a sample of lavender, and I thought, I'm going to go get that stuff my daughter gave me, and I'm just going to try it and see if it works. And so I took it into her room. It was in the middle of the afternoon, and it was her typical nap time. And I put it right in my hand, just one drop, and rub my hand together. And then I just kind of, like rubbed her forehead like this, went down her nose with my hand, but I would just kind of hold it over her mouth like that, and just kept doing like that to her, just kind of keeping my hand near her face so she could smell it. I didn't put it on her. I just was holding it near her. I didn't have a diffuser at the time, and I didn't know what I was doing. But I sat there and just kept rubbing her head, forehead, and rubbing down her nose. And wouldn't you know, within minutes, she was asleep. And I couldn't get over it because she was so restless and rambunctious. She just would not settle down and nap. And when that happened, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And so later I learned that you can take it and you just put it on their feet, put a drop on their feet, or you can put it in your hand and rub it on their feet, either way. And you can put it directly on there. You don't have to have a carrier oil. but you can. And so, and I'll talk about carrier oils as well, but not today specifically. But anyway, so that was my first time using it. Then I knew that it was good for your skin. So when I had a mosquito bite, I remember reading somewhere that you could use it for mosquito bites. And sure enough, I used it and it would take that itch away. It was just amazing. I also would put it on my granddaughter as well as my own feet at night to help me go to sleep. And man, it was amazing that this beautiful oil, it just smells so good. I wish you were right here. Oh my gosh. What it reminds me of is my grandmother's house. It was just it's a soft, soothing aroma. And it just makes you feel just good inside, like loved actually, and just very warm and like you're home. So, you know, anyway. But there are other things that you can use it for. I'm just going to kind of run down some of the uses and and the properties that it has. So properties, it's an analgesic, it's an anticoagulant, it's a anticonvulsant, an antidepressant, an antifungal, antihistamine, anti-infectious, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, antimutagenic, antiseptic, antispasmodic, antioxic, anti-tumor. It's a cardiotonic, regenerative, and sedative. Now, a lot of these things that I just mentioned, there are studies on. And if you have a Modern Essentials book, when you turn to this page, you will see the additional research listed here, and you can actually look up this research that will back up what I just told you. But some common primary uses, and again, I'm not going to go over every one of them, but I'm just going to give you a rundown. Agitation, it can calm you down. Allergies, anxiety, appetite loss, bites, stings. I'm kind of going over things that I've used it for. Blisters and boils, definitely burns, and I've read articles about that. That is fascinating to read about using it for burns, and we've used it for burns. Concentration, dandruff, depression, diaper rash. It's a diuretic. Let's see. Flatulence. That's interesting. Haven't tried that. Grief, sorrow, hyperactivity, impetigo, inflammation, insomnia, itching, jet lag. Oh my goodness, I could have used that back in the day. Menopause, mental stress, mood swings, postpartum, poison ivy, poison oak, rashes, relaxation, skin. Like I said, it's really good for your skin. Tension, teething pain, ticks, ulcers on your leg. Wow, vertigo. Yeah, I just took it to a friend along with a couple other oils, and she used it for vertigo. And there's others. There's so many. I'm not reading them all. But the French medicinal uses that the French have historically Used it for is acne, allergies, burns, cell renewal, cramps, dandruff, diaper rash, hair loss, herpes, indigestion, insomnia, lowering blood pressure, lymphatic system drainage, menopausal conditions, mouth abscesses, nausea, phlebitis, menstrual conditions, scarring, stretch marks, and so forth. I mean, and the reason I mention French is because essential oils, um, they were first used in Europe, and France has a long history. You can look it up, where the origins of essential oils. Anyway, and maybe I'll do a thing on that one day. Um, there's in this book, for instance, you can also, it tells you if you want to make any fragrances, it tells you how to make the fragrance and what dilution rate, how much carrier oil versus how many drops of oil, what classification that oil is, if you want a bottom note, middle note, or top note. So you can make, fragrances with it. There's just, it's really wonderful for sleep. And lavender's one of those have-to oils, so I keep it all the time. I just actually ordered 2 more bottles. And just so you know, a dose is 1 drop. So when you're using it, just use 1 drop. And if you're going to diffuse it, then depending on the size of your diffuser, but I typically put about 4 drops in a diffuser to run it all day long. So there you have it. That's a little bit about lavender. I'll see you on the next video. If you have any questions, put it on the comments, or if you'd like to share how you've used lavender and some amazing things that it's done for you. Tell me your story. I'd love to hear. See you next time.